but talk to each other rather than that. Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. We're live here at lunchtime. It sounds like Steve Cooper could well end up being the Leicester manager. I'm here with Sam and with Reedy, and of course with you guys. We want to know your views and your comments, because it's just starting to get to that point where potentially the bookies are starting to make him hot favourite. There's rumours all around social media that he is actually talking with the club at the moment. So for the next 20 minutes, we want your views and your comments on Super Steve Cooper. Is he the right man for Leicester City, or is he not? What's going to happen? So join us.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content, like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live. Thanks to our sponsors, Everods, Follow Blinds, Pocker Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hologram, Take Me, Nubian Co, and the Fox's Arms and Rainbows. We are live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So yes, welcome to Leicester Fan TV. We're live for the next 20 minutes. We're going to be talking about who will be the next Leicester manager. We want to talk about Steve Cooper because the bookies are making him red hot favourite. There's talk on social media, believe it or believe it not, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to gossip around. Get your views in, get your comments in. Let us know what you think if it was going to be Steve Cooper. David Barker says, hi gents, he's on a free. We can't afford to start paying for managers. What type of football does he play, Reedy? What sort of football would you class Steve Cooper as?
It's different because obviously when we watched Forest last year, there was a bit of different styles. Again, there was a bit more counter-attacking, but then there's a bit more possession. But obviously, they didn't get many wins as Forest managers, so there's no exact style, but
he does seem to mix and match it up a little bit,
obviously,
depending on the teams he's playing, which I would say I like that.
But
I
we
like
are
to see a
used to
manager.
playing one style, aren't we? So.
Under Enzo, yeah, and to be fair, under Rodgers, I'd quite be excited by a manager who does what I'd class, which is manage, Sam, which is like, look, when you play Manchester City in the Premier League, home or away is a different game to when you play Brentford and Fulham. So I'd be quite happy with a manager if he does adapt a tactic and a style to suit who we're playing.
I think with Enzo's philosophy, his style probably wouldn't have worked as well, because like you said, in today's modern football it seems to be one style of football for most clubs, you know, but then you'll get managers that will come in and adapt to different teams, and that is what, you know, a club like Leicester will need to do. You know, we saw it last season, I think off the top of my head, Swansea, one of the teams that were trying to play the exact same way as Enzo, and they just capitulated, and where did they finish in the end? 14th, 15th, you know, it's just, it's not really something that all clubs can adapt to, and when we've got the limited funds and the players obviously not as high calibre as some of the other teams, especially after being out of the Premier League for a season, I think someone like Cooper, like you said, who is more adaptable and more changes the style, would suit us better naturally. And yeah, really, like Reedy says, he doesn't have the best track record. It was difficult. A difficult start for him at Forest, obviously 9 losses, 3
last
wins
season,
and 5 draws last season.
Yeah.
But again, you got to look at the other things. He got Swansea into the playoff finals before he joined Forest, to got them out from bottom 3 to Premier League in the same season. There is worse options, and again, like you said, some of the better options, maybe like Moyes and Potter.
Well, yeah, Paul Blankley says get Moyes in there, and I know Karen said that in the comment before as well, would like to see Moyes in there. I want to just focus on Steve Cooper before we go into Moyes, Corberan, Potter debate, because I think we want to gauge the reaction from the fans. I know it's certainly, I would say it's mixed, Reedy, what I've been reading. I've got lots of reasons why I think Steve Cooper is potentially the right guy for the right job. I think he's energetic, he's young, he's 44 years old. That's, you know, young, he's got experience, he's managed Swansea for 2 years, managed Forest for 2 and a bit years. He got a team promoted. He kept a team up in the Premier League. He's relatively recently, within the last 12 months, he was managing at Premier League level. He understands the league. He also lives locally. He also is available. He is also free. He's also very, very good with young players, and a lot of other managers may and do trust him with loan signings, and loan signings is probably where we're going to be ending up this season. So that, for me, is 3 or 4 or 5 points why I think Steve Cooper actually does tick the box, Reedy.
I think.
I know you're not convinced.
I'm out of the three of us, I'm the only one that's like I no go for Cooper. For me, I feel like it feels like we've gone the best of the rest in a way. Like we've not got probably who we wanted. If there was any like people who were like first on the list.
And who was that? Who was first on the list? For most fans, it's Potter, isn't it? Probably.
I think first on the list is probably he's probably Potter. I think that obviously from what the odds were, obviously not Cooper Corberan. I'm getting Cooper and Corberan mixed up, but yeah, Corberan was obviously the favourite at one point. I was probably more leaning towards him over Cooper, but then I'd say, why would I not want a Premier League manager? I just don't think Cooper has the history that someone like Moyes or Potter have. Whereas Cooper's only just come up from the Championship and kept someone up, which obviously I know we need to do that.
I think again, those two managers might not want to join Leicester at all.
No, might not, but...
I agree. There's lots of fans putting in there would like Mark Farragher there. Have I said that right? Mark Farragher says, very underwhelmed by the prospect of Cooper. Moyes all the way for me. I think a lot of Leicester fans would go Potter or Moyes, but
again, some of the stuff that Moyes said after the West Ham, his contract ran out, they mutually agreed to leave it there. He said he's tired of football. He said he's tired of travelling. So again, I don't think Moyes is going to go anywhere. I think he's going to have a couple of years off football and maybe join a decent Premier League team if he's back for it. You've got to think he's 60 odd years old. He's been managing ever since he came out of being a professional footballer. He's got enough money that if he wanted to, he could stop doing what he wants right now. And same goes for Potter. I think Potter's ego is too big for Leicester. I don't think he's going to want on his CV that a team like Leicester, face it, with a points deduction, is probably the favourites to get relegated again. If Potter joined us, he's got, he'll probably be like, well, if I join Leicester, there's a high chance I'm going to get relegated. I'd rather wait for the West Ham job or for the Fulham job.
I think Leicester fans have got to realise, myself included, Reedy, I'm going to ask you this question, but I think we have to realise that Leicester is a newly promoted team, probably facing a 6 to 15 point deduction. A lot of managers would look at that and go, I don't fancy that, So you've got to think of that, and you've got to think Potter has probably got options and had options, and probably thinks, well, some managers, there will be the manager merry-go-round after 10 or 20 games. He might well be looking and going, well, if somebody has a bit of a stinky start, I could be the next Man United manager. I could be there. A lot of managers, Reedy, will not want to come to Leicester.
No, of course they won't. And again, that's probably another reason why, even if we have made contact with someone like Moyes or Potter, they're probably like, no, I'm all right, thanks. Because if they get relegated with Leicester after a year, that's their career already dampened and been like, well, I'm not going to get many good jobs now. Whereas someone like Steve Cooper obviously got sacked from Forest, and he thinks it's a new challenge. I guess that you might think, do you know what, if I keep them up, it might make my CV better.
Well, Cooper is out of work, so, let's get some comments in there. Tito Blue says Corberan is better tactics and a step forward. Potter preferred, but I think Corberan will have more success having the chance.
See, I don't see how Corberan can be a step forward when he doesn't have a history or a track record. I know some fans would look at what he's done at West Brom and Huddersfield, and he did good there, but then but if you're arguing that that's what he's done, but then Steve Cooper got Swansea to play a final,
and he got Forest promoted
from the bottom 3 to the Premier League, and then kept them up. If you're going on who's got a better track record,
it's Cooper.
I don't know why. Like, out of all of them, I would prefer anyone but Corberan. But then
Corberan or Cooper.
Then Corberan, but then if it's Cooper, I'd rather have Corberan. Like, he's the only. Cooper's the only. No, but Cooper's the.
What a surprise! Really not making sense. I'd have anybody but Corberan except for Cooper.
Yeah, but that's.
So you'd have anybody than Cooper then.
Yeah, in a way.
Well, yeah.
In a way, yes. Yes, in a way, yes. But for me, I don't know. I don't know what's the edging over the reason why I don't want Cooper. I don't think it's the Forest reason.
I think it is, to be honest. I think a lot of fans are sublime in the back of their head and like, I don't want Cooper because he's ex-Forest manager.
And he got sacked. I get that. He was managing a Premier League side. He got sacked because he weren't doing good enough. I think the Forest hierarchy did force like 20 or 30 players on him. I don't know. He had some major.
I mean, Andy Medhurst says Cooper didn't take Forest to the next level. What makes you think he could do it? But he did.
Well, he did take them to the next level.
He got them promoted and kept them up. That is the next level.
That is, literally, Andy.
That's the next level.
I think if he keeps us up, if we got Cooper and we kept us up, I would say fair play. But if we got relegated, like probably most managers, you'd say it wasn't the right appointment.
Yes, that's how it works.
You say that about every manager, though. If we got Cooper and you say, well, we didn't get someone with experience,
yes.
That's why we got. And you could say the same. You could argue if we're doing bad with.
And I'm not going to slate him before he comes into the club.
Honestly, I think we're limited to choices. Again, we're not going to offer Corberán or West Brom 3 or 4 million for him because we just don't have the funds to splash 4
Would it be a
on
waste?
manager.
In my opinion, that would be potentially a waste of 3 or 4 million to buy somebody out of a manager's contract.
That doesn't have experience. It's tough, but Cooper is free.
Look, says there, I think the reason for the Cooper hate is only 11 wins in 55 games with only £150 million worth of players. I agree. I hear what people are saying when they pull out that stat. You can work figures wherever you want. Again, for me, I would say Cooper got Forest promoted when they were third bottom in the Championship and he kept them up. That's real facts. You can pull stats out if you want.
You'd say that was the Championship.
What?
Like getting them up from third bottom to getting to Premier League in the Championship.
But people like Locks are calling for Corberán because he took West Brom with no money
from 21st to 5th.
From 21st to 5th. Well, that's an achievement of sorts. But Cooper took Forest
from 21st to Premier League.
It's a bigger achievement. He's done more, and then he's played in the Premier League. Cooper has managed there. And he's kept them up. Tony Hurd says, to be fair, they've struggled since he left, in spite of doing a poor man's Chelsea in the transfer market. Their fans were solidly behind him. And Tony, I'm going to say this to Sam. I play five-a-side football on a Wednesday night. I played with a Forest fan last night and had a little chat with him about Steve Cooper. And he said to me, Steve Cooper will get on with the Leicester fans. He's a fans type of manager. He does all the fist pumping and all that coming up to the crowd at the end. Well, I'm not being funny. I would quite like that. I'd quite like a manager.
We had Enzo, didn't we?
Not really.
No. I thought Enzo was a lot.
Not really. He didn't really come on the pitch at the end and come up to us and clap. I don't remember that. He might have done a little bit, but I don't mind seeing a manager engaging with fans at the moment. So he said he's good on the fans front. The fans will like him. He said he's also, and this was perhaps more important, he said he's very, very good and well liked within the football industry at bringing in loan players, young loan players, and working with the youth side, which would be exactly where I think we're going to go this summer, is pull in 2 or 3 quality loan players from Chelsea's and Man City's or whoever, and Spurs.
We're not going to have much money to spend. Even if we did, again, we're going to be complying, and fans have said, that was the past 3 seasons, but as a club in our situation, we're not going to go and spend £100 million a season when, like I said, we're probably going to be bookies' favourites to get relegated. Look at Luton, look at Burnley, look at Sheffield United. All 3 of them spent all money because they knew that they would get relegated. And it's a vicious cycle of you have to spend money to stay up, but if you spend money and don't stay up, then you're effed in the Championship. Like we were having issues with the transfer embargo. I'm sure we still have to make money up by the end of this month for the Championship to not be in a points deduction if we were to go back down. There's a lot of politics to it, and for me, going up, we're not going to have that much money, even if we do have the money, if that makes sense. We're not going to go and spend £150 million because we don't want to be... I mean, Forest is a great example. They spent £170 million, stayed up, and they're still under FFP scrutiny.
Yes, had points deducted.
So we, as a club, with already a points deduction, are not going to keep adding to that when we know financially it's risky to do it. And we've made bad business decisions as a club. I think this season is going to be a lot surprising. Like I say, there'll be loans, there'll be free players, and that's why I think Cooper starts with. He's a free manager and he's close.
Chris Carrington's comments there, he says, in the scenario we're in, beggars can't be choosers. Cooper has the experience We will have a struggle from the start. We certainly will with a points deduction. He will fight in the Premier League, but he will also be future-proof if we go down because he's got Championship experience in there. Locks then says Cooper kept Forest up with 38 points. But that will have us relegated next season due to the points deduction.
That's not Cooper's fault that we have a points deduction.
No. Every manager is going to have to deal with a potential points deduction.
Exactly. It doesn't matter who comes in. Whoever comes in, we're going to start with -6 or -15.
Richie Collins says Steve Cooper is not his choice in there. Kian says seen Steve Bruce begging for the job. I did actually see Steve Bruce linked.
Yeah,
I mean,
he basically offered himself to us.
Yeah, but
I'm all right, thanks.
Rodrev says Phil's sold me on Cooper. Now, I genuinely would prefer Potter or Moyes. I don't think they're in the running. And then I look
You
in.
have to be realistic.
Yeah, I'm being realistic.
I don't think anyone could sell me on Cooper, to be honest.
Well, look,
From like I say, I know a lot of fans from last year from Forest that were hating on him. Like honestly, saying that he needs to get out of the club because he's not. He was basically relegating them.
I think potentially at Forest.
And that's why Nunes came in. That's why Nunes
there.
came in and actually kept them up.
Yeah, but when you look at the stats, Nunes didn't do that much for them.
No,
No, he kept them up.
If Cooper was there, I think he probably would have getting them.
If you offered me Nunes or Cooper, I'd have had Nunes.
Yes,
I was shouting for him potentially after Rodgers had gone. So I think he is a decent manager. I think Forest did well to do that. Again, like somebody's just put in there, beggars can't be choosers. I'm not saying we're beggars. I'm sure the Leicester City manager's role is exciting for many managers. But look at the list. The bookies aren't often wrong. Look at the 10 to 15 managers who are there. And this is the managers we've got to deal with. People, Sam, I've seen some Leicester fans say, get Mourinho in.
Never gonna
It's
happen.
like...
Some people live in a different planet with the blue tinted specs on too much. Realistically, when all is said and done, and you look at it on a piece of paper, based on statistics, based on track record, based on every single thing, including Steve Cooper's free and he lives in Nottingham, he is probably the best option we can get.
He probably is the best option, but it might be because it's one of our only options, realistically, for me. Potter won't come. Moyes won't come. You've got someone like, I don't know.
Corberan's next in the better.
Yes, but again, out of the three, I don't know.
Moyes is still there. I think it was 8-1 last time.
I think the reason why I
checked.
want Corberan over Cooper is because of the play style. Because I feel like it's closer to Enzo's.
I don't know. All this, and again, this is my only other comment. I only saw West Brom twice last season.
And we beat
them twice.
But they were. I remember Locke saying to me that it was a hard win for both of them.
Yes, but we lost to Leeds twice and we lost to Borough twice. So, you know, I don't hear anybody going out and getting who's Borough manager. Carrick.
Well, he was in the list, but not anyway.
Yeah. John Dilks says, I'd rather have Tommy Cooper. Note, blank faces. John, they've got no idea. Tommy Cooper?
No, too young for that.
I get it, but I'd have Steve Cooper over Tommy Cooper. Tom says, just seen Brendan in Morrison's near the ground. Nobody wants that. Tony says here, they might surprise us all and get someone in who's not in the frame. Rodgers came out of the blue when they got him in from Celtic. The councillor, good evening, says Cooper has Premier League experience, 1+ point. Indeed, he's managed there. Cooper then, this is Tim Deacon, says, Cooper, if not Moyes, no to Corberan.
I think logically it makes sense to not get Corberan. Rumours have it, we've not even spoke to Corberan. The club, I've read numerous places that there's been no contact between Leicester and Corberan, and that Steve Cooper is the first person we've contacted. And listen, if we contact David Moyes and he's up for the job, or even Graham Potter, I would prefer one of those two. But again, there's so many different external factors as to why they probably won't join Leicester.
Yeah.
And Cooper, again, and I think we all need to agree as fans that we need to get this ball rolling quick. There's no
You get a manager
Dean
in.
Smith situation where we have, that period of time where in that time we played 2 matches and lost both of them under caretaker managers, from the coaches.
Chris Carrington's comment there. You see, this is where I perhaps differ to Reedy, certainly, and lots of fans. Chris says here the playing style is key. Did you like Cooper's style? I'm going to spin that round, Chris. I don't think the playing style necessarily is key. What is key for me in the next season is we're a newly promoted side. We've got precious little money. We're up against it with FFP. We're probably going to have a points deduction. how we play as a style, obsession with possession, let's get somebody in to carry on the Enzo ball. I'm more interested in results and attitude and togetherness and fans and a manager.
That's
Absolutely,
what came up
it is backs against the wall. That's the number one for me. It's not the playing style. It's backs against the wall. And that's where I think really we are. And that's, people are saying, oh, get Corberan in or get somebody in because he's got this similar style or do that. I'm sort of like, it's substance over style for me. It's results from day one. Because not only have we got to get 38 points, 40 points to stay up,
I mean, again,
we've got to get another 6 or 8.
Look at Burnley. They kept the philosophy of
well played, Burnley.
Pass it around the back, and what happened to them? They got relegated.
At least Luton had a go.
Yeah.
I'm always about the performances, and when you have better performances,
Style. Performance means result. Style,
when you
style.
play better and you have a better style, normally when you're playing better, you get better results. I know half the time it doesn't, which again, if you win 1-0 from the back of your arse half the time, then fair enough. And that I'd be more than happy to win that like that. But again, I'm more player style than results. But then again,
well, I'm not. I'm just results.
In this style, in this scenario, we have to be. Yes.
I mean, Toxic Doggy there says he says whoever we get needs to have experience with being in a scrappy relegation battle. I think that's what we're looking at.
Cooper did it.
It's going to be scrappy.
Yeah, it's going to be even
It's
more...
going to be kick the ball out, clear it.
It was going to be scrappy before a points deduction. So now, with I did read earlier, Sky Sports did announce that, let me say, Everton, Forest, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea and Leicester are all under profit and sustainability
Scrutiny,
breaches.
yeah.
And that by the end of this month, they need to make some money up for it to comply with the rules. Now, whether that applies to us in the Championship or the Premier League, I don't know. But those other 5 teams have been in the Premier League for enough time that it does apply to them. And if teams like Forest, Everton, probably not Villa or Newcastle, but at the very least Forest and Everton, if they do also get a points deduction, it's going to make it easier for us because, let's be honest, we're probably going to get a hefty points deduction. And as Leicester fans, we probably can't actually see where that's coming from translated to players because we got relegated, and the reason that we got relegated is because the team wasn't good enough, the manager wasn't good enough, and the board of directors at the club are not good enough to make quicker decisions within the club. We, going forward as a club, need to be quicker making these decisions. We need to get the ball rolling, and we can't faff around for the next 3 weeks deciding who is going to be the next Leicester manager. Let's just pick someone and go.
Before we do finish, is your name Cooper for the first manager? As in, like, is Cooper your choice?
No, I'd have Graham Potter or I'd have David Moyes, but then they don't appear to be interested and they're not considered. So out of the next lot, Steve Cooper, I would say, out of the rest, has the best credentials and is available and doesn't cost us a penny and could be at Seagrave tomorrow to get on with the job because we need to get somebody working on this tomorrow. Enzo, when did we first hear the rumour about Enzo going?
Probably a few days before he signed, I think.
No, it was like 10, 12 days ago. We've known Enzo's going for 12 days.
Oh, if we meant when we first appointed him, sorry, yeah.
No, where's the delay? If we're working here and you said I'm going to go onto Forest Fan TV. The minute I heard that, I'd be like, well, I'm not surprised because you secretly love Forest, but then I'd also be going, we need to get somebody else in.
I secretly love Forest. I'd love Cooper, want to know.
I think that's why you don't want him because they sacked him. You're salty about it.
Anyway, Locke says players aren't back for pre-season for another 3 weeks. Locke's exactly why we need to get a manager in today, tomorrow, this weekend, because
iron out the creases.
The players come back. So get looking at who you're going to sign. Get looking. What's happening with Ndidi? What's happening with Iheanacho? What's happening, with Vestergaard? I'm sure people are sorting these contracts out, but if Vestergaard's being let go, who are we looking at for a centre-back to come in? There'll be pre-season friendlies in about, 5 or 6 weeks, and those Euros. But we just have to get on with it, don't we? Last couple of comments. Steve Green says, I think you're correct. Cooper ticks lots of the boxes, which he does for me. Carl Cole says, City gave Enzo permission for Chelsea, so we knew. Exactly, we
knew
know.
he was going to go. as soon as Chelsea came knocking, you can't blame Enzo for wanting to go to Chelsea, but as soon as as soon as Chelsea wanted Enzo, at his buyout clause,
the alarm bells are
literally
going.
peanuts to us, to them. Sorry, so that was, like you said, probably looking from when the rumours started to him speaking to Chelsea to him signing for Chelsea. There's probably a 10 to 15 day gap where all of that process happened. From the minute that the Chelsea wanted Enzo and Enzo was interested and had a meeting, we need to get that ball rolling. We should have already, the day Enzo signed, we should have said, right, this is our manager.
Well, the rumours are that Cooper is talking at Leicester.
But this is a few days after Enzo signed. I read that the club waited to see where Enzo's future lies, and I understand that, but you can still have a conversation with some managers.
Well, I just see Fox's message there saying about the Palace manager that they brought in after, I think, who was their older manager, the one that looks like now.
He's on about Hodgson.
That's it, yeah.
Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, after they brought in a guy from Frankfurt come in, he had no Premier League Premier League pass, and he's done well.
I don't get
obviously Enzo has as well, realistically, because he's not actually managed to.
No, I get that. Listen, if Corberán comes in, I'll be one of the first ones to back him. I've got no problem with that. Like, just while we're debating it, it's like, yes, I think Palace were in a slightly different position because they've been relatively well established in the Premier League.
Seasons. They've not been relegated.
You'd probably say someone like, again, Alonso at Bayer Leverkusen. He wasn't really a manager before.
No, that's
again,
right.
Anyone could come in and it could work perfectly. You never know. So it might not have to be a Premier League standard manager, but
Corberán, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
The difference between Palace and Leicester is Palace for the past 6-7 years have been comfortably in the Premier League. There was no risk in them signing a manager from a different league because they had a lot of good players, and I mean, you've seen this season they've had one of their best seasons in a long time for Palace standards.
It's just because they brought in that new manager.
But but that obviously that's helped them. But in Leicester's situation, where we're in a relegation scrap, someone like
we've got to bring in someone who knows how to get out of this scrap.
Palace manager
the first thing we need is a manager who's come in and going to get some sort of squad somehow with very little money.
I know,
because we've got 5, 6, 7 players going on a free transfer.
That's another reason why, for me, would Cooper know what to bring in? For me, I don't think he would.
But it's not always down to managers. Managers don't always bring in the players.
But you
say that again about Cooper.
I don't think he would know what players to bring in.
So when Cooper took Forest up that summer, how many players did they bring in?
That wasn't on him though, was it?
How many players did they bring in?
Like 20, 30?
And who organised them?
Him, but it took him a very long time.
And did he keep them up?
That first year, yeah.
Reedy's just said it.
No, I get it.
Cooper had somehow...
Yeah, it took him a long time.
But he did it. This summer, somebody's got to come in and sort Leicester City out.
But in the position we're in...
How many players are we going to have to bring in?
But in the position we're in, we haven't got the time to give him time to get it sorted. It needs to be ready to go for that first game of the season. And that's where I don't know if Cooper will be the man to do that.
It's interesting. Listen, thanks everybody for getting all your views, all your comments in. We don't know anything for certain yet. Cooper is the #1 favourite with the bookies by quite some way now.
He'll probably change in the next 2 days. No one knows.
Just let's get on with it.
Yeah.
It would be my thing. Get the right man, of course, is key, but get on with it. Join Locks. I think is Locks going live tonight. Fox's Focus. Let's see if there's any more news with Locks later. He's got very different views to me, which is great. We all have different views. As you can see, you have different views. So join Locks tonight for Fox's Focus. And of course, we'll keep going live whenever anything is close to being signed, transfers, managers, whatever. So join us very, very soon. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe and follow at Leicester Fan TV.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, Everod's, Barlow Blinds, Booker Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hologram, Take Me, Nubian Cow, The Fox's Arms and Rainbows. Run by the fans, for the fans. Follow us on socials at Leicester Fan TV and visit leicesterfantv.com for all the latest news, views and videos.